really not a Republican Democratic issue.
Right.
This is an issue for the people of the state of California, and where, you know, I'm sorry.
We are at a Republican convention.
I understand that, but let's not make it.
This is the upwelling right now.
But this is the beginning of a revolution that includes the inclined to state and a lot of you registered Democrats. So don't make we make a mistake if we say it's only a Republican issue. Then you only get on Fox. Okay? And so I actually was the consultant to the re-engineering of the California Water Project for the 29 contractors in 2000, so I know Ray Hart really well. There are a lot of really skillful people in this room who need to get together and do a press tour. And you need to have some of those farm workers outside of Whole Foods. I didn't know Whole Foods is getting food from China. We've got to get, you know, people out to pick it, and people at every single farmer's market up and down the state. The word is sustainability. You know, and I'm sorry, I'm going to run after I said this because I'm
Don't leave without giving me your card.
That I can do.
Okay. I think that's really fantastic. That's really. Who's gonna? You guys are gonna follow up on that, or what? I mean, that's a great idea. You know?
I mean, this is a camp. This is, and you know, I've been a congressional candidate, but and by the way, I know George Miller. But the issue here is one of publicity. If you tell the people I share the Campbell Farmers Market with that the food that comes out of the Delta has sewage in it, you're going to see a real change in attitude. People, I thought I knew a lot about water. I'm so glad I came this morning.
I'd like to address, we reinstituted the Clara County Water Commission, and we put an environmentalist on the commission. And what was interesting is the conclusion is that we need more surface water to solve the disadvantaged community water problem on water quality. It takes more surface water because we can't pump it out of the ground because we have contaminants. But the other part that was very interesting is that your environmentalists or your Democrats, they understand the problem. The problem they have is that they can't break the barrier of how to solve that problem, like more storage above ground and below ground. They just can't pass that silo that we need more surface storage. That's right. It's an emotional silo.
It is a very, you know, that's a great point. I mean, I was a Democrat all my life, and in '92 I finally changed, but I just couldn't quite cross over to becoming a Republican, so I became a declined to state until 2000 or 1999. And there's a lot of people who can't. I mean, they may remain Democrat, but they will vote Republican. And she said it's not a Democrat-Republican issue, but it's really hard for the Democrats, you know, the Democrat elected officials to toe the line. Although there are some who will, so that's why a contract, as you mentioned, is a good idea. Just like the tax pledge, we need candidates to pledge, and then they need to be held accountable. They need to pledge where they stand on the Endangered Species Act, where they stand on the environment. I think that's really powerful.
May I follow briefly? I know other candidates up in my area, the northwest corner, that are not impacted, and hearing the stories like this, impacted on a gut level, and I really think we can draw them in, and the Tea Party is essential in this, and the upwelling. I mean,
well, great, you're going to be in charge.
So yeah, I need to talk with you all. But
where are you running?
I was on a tour.
Wait.
Excuse me.
Hold on.
I was on a tour to the Delta with the Water District recently, and there were a number of environmentalists on the tour. And as they were talking about the importance of saving the smelt, and I'll tell you a story about that in a second, I asked, aren't we one of the species that ought to be saved? And they said no. We are I'm telling you this for a reason. We are the species that are causing the problem. The extreme environmentalists are so out of touch with reality, they'd have us go back to before fire if they could. I think in keeping with what Joyce just, I have Joyce's card for you. In keeping with what Joyce just said, it really is not a partisan issue. It is a species survival issue for us. And I think we need to take some of their language and look at how they are destroying or proposing to destroy incrementally. It's like, you know, the frog in the water thing. They are incrementally trying to destroy everything that especially in the United States, that we've built up as an industrial nation to make our lives easier. Any single thing that we have, you know, get rid of cars, get rid of this, get rid of that. So I think that the campaign needs to be to save this species and to use their nomenclature. One of the things, well, just a quickie and then I'll sit down. When we were up there on the tour and we were learning about saving these stupid smelt, part of what I learned, which was really incredible, is they take the smelt out of they close the locks so they can get all the smelt. They scoop them up, they put them on a truck, they drive them over to a pond. Now, thousands of smelt die in the process of going, and their theory that the smelt are needed for the other fish, well, they're taking them over to a pond where there aren't any other fish. And it costs us billions of dollars, including, not even looking at the loss of water.
It's the truth, and it makes no sense. If you're not convinced by now that their concern is not people, you know, then you're not listening, and you're missing it. Okay. I have this gentleman right here has been waiting and had his hand up the whole time.
You know, the Delta is tied up because they're worried about a frog with a red spot, and the South Sierra Longyear is tied up because they're worried about a frog with a yellow spot. That's like saying blondes and redheads are separate species. It's goofy, you know.
Hey, as a redhead, I gotta tell you.
I'm from a store where Mark Twain said the comment, whiskey's for drinking and water's for fighting. So on the website there is a water's for fighting proposition that's trying to be generated. So everybody check in on that. I believe that all wealth is generated not with printing presses, which just takes inflation away from everybody, but you either got to mine it, grow it, or change it into production. Everything else is bullshit.
It is.
Yeah. We want our food grown here where we know what is in it, because that's our sustenance.
And a little more. High-level dams would talk about green energy. High-level dams is the only way you can store energy. The sun doesn't shine at night, and the wind doesn't always blow. But when you have a surplus, and let all the windmills run, you can pump water uphill and then regenerate it coming back down, and you cover all the peaks and valleys. It's so simple.
It is, but we have to fight the political battle and win and change hearts and minds, and help people understand that, you know, they're killing us. They're killing us slowly, and they're doing it that's how the left operates. First you take out the west side, and then you take out the east side. And at the same time, I'm so glad you made that point, because when you look at the map of California, the only area that's red is the one that has 20% or 18% or 18% and higher unemployment, you know, is the general rule. What if, and people are leaving, what if they take it out? That's exactly what they're doing. They're tired of having, you know, the 1/3, you know, hold up, they're being able to tax with impunity. They're absolutely out of their minds because they don't care that businesses are leaving every year. They're going in one. I gotta move on, sir.
One little one. We should divide the state into 3 parts.
No,
Three
okay,
states.
no.
And that'll get their attention.
Siéntese, por favor. Yes, thank you.
On February 14th, the Sierra Club announced, and it was in the San Francisco Chronicle, that they're initiating a ballot initiative just in the city-county of San Francisco to tear down O'Shaughnessy Dam. That's the Hetch Hetchy water system. Hetch Hetchy water system is privately owned by the city-county of San Francisco, not part of the state system. But the Sierra Club's plan is that, all right, we tear down O'Shaughnessy. The whole thing is we return the valley to its natural beauty, and we get the water from the Modesto Turlock irrigation districts, okay?